Have you ever felt like you're studying for hours, but absolutely nothing is sticking? Like you're just spinning your wheels right before a huge exam? Well, today, we're going to fix that. We're going to completely transform your study habits with 6 science-backed techniques that are designed for one thing: helping you succeed. We've all been here, right? It's late, the exam is breathing down your neck, and your notes are just a chaotic mess. You tell yourself, okay, just one more chapter. But then, your phone buzzes. You think, I'll just check it for a second. And we all know how that goes. That 1 second turns into an hour. Suddenly, it's 1 a.m., your brain is totally fried, and you're just sitting there frustrated, asking yourself this exact question. If that sounds familiar, I've got some really good news for you. You're not lazy, you're human. The problem isn't a lack of willpower, not at all. It's the lack of a good system. So today, we're giving you that system. A whole toolkit of simple strategies to help you study smarter, focus deeper, and finally walk into that exam feeling confident. All right, let's dive right in with our first 2 techniques. These are all about taking control of your environment and your clock. This is the foundation, you guys. Get this right, and everything else gets easier. So let's bust a huge myth right now. We think that studying for 4 or 5 hours straight is the gold standard of hard work. But if you actually tracked it, you'd probably find you were only truly focused for maybe 40 minutes of that time. Trying to study for hours without a break, it's like trying to sprint a marathon. You're just going to burn out. So what's the alternative? Well, it all starts with this number, 25. 25 minutes of pure, locked-in, uninterrupted focus. This is the heart of a really powerful time management method that's designed to work with your brain, not against it. And this is it, the Pomodoro technique. It's so simple. You study with total focus for 25 minutes, then you take a short 5-minute break. You do that 4 times, and then you reward yourself with a longer 15-minute break. Those short breaks are absolutely crucial. They reset your brain, they keep you sharp, and they stop you from burning out. But look, even the most perfect schedule can be totally wrecked via bad environment. Let's be honest, the real enemy isn't always the textbook. Sometimes it's the buzz from your phone, or your brain whispering, hey, let's just check that one YouTube video. So the solution is to build a dedicated focus zone, a space that literally tells your brain, okay, it's time for deep work. Clean your desk, put your phone in another room. Seriously, this is a non-negotiable game changer. Use headphones, keep some water nearby so you don't have an excuse to get up. When you do this every single time, your brain starts to automatically associate that spot with focus. Okay, so you've managed to get into that state of focus. Awesome. But how do you make sure what you're learning actually stays in your brain? This next part is all about moving from just passively reading to actively learning. One of the biggest mistakes we all make is thinking that reading equals learning. We highlight our notes in 5 different colors until they look like a piece of art, but that's passive. And then when the exam comes, your mind goes blank. Why? Because you were just feeding your brain info, you weren't actually testing it. The cure for this is something called active recall. Active recall is actually pretty simple. After you read a chapter, you close the book, and you ask yourself, okay, what did I just learn? Even better, explain it out loud like you're teaching it to someone. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable at first, and that's a good sign. That struggle to remember, that is precisely where your mind is building and strengthening those memory connections. And here's the payoff for that little bit of discomfort. Studies actually show that if you master active recall, you can retain double the information in half the time. I mean, come on, it is one of the most efficient learning techniques on the planet. And to make this even more powerful, you can pair it with spaced repetition. See, our brains are literally designed to forget things over time. So instead of cramming everything in one night, you review information at longer and longer intervals. You review it today, then again in a few days, then a week later. Each time you review it, that memory gets stronger, turning short-term facts into long-term knowledge. So focus and memory are great, but real confidence, that feeling of walking into an exam and knowing you've got this, that comes from deep understanding. This next technique is all about the difference between just remembering a fact and truly knowing it. This idea is captured perfectly by the genius physicist Richard Feynman. He believed the ultimate test of knowledge wasn't being able to recite some complex definition, but being able to explain a really complicated topic in simple, clear terms. So here's how you use his technique. You pick a topic, write it at the top of a blank page.
Then, you try to explain it in your own words, as if you were teaching it to a kid. The moment you get stuck or you have to use complicated jargon, boom, that's your weak spot. That's your signal to go back, relearn that specific part, and then simplify your explanation. It's an amazing way to turn confusion into clarity.
Now, all these mental techniques are incredibly powerful, but they all depend on one critical thing: a healthy, rested brain. It's so simple, but so important. You just can't expect your mind to perform at its best when your body is completely exhausted. So many of us think pulling an all-nighter is a badge of honor, but the truth is, a lack of sleep completely destroys your focus and your memory. The top performers, they do the exact opposite. They get at least 7 hours of sleep. They eat well, they stay hydrated, they take short walks. Your brain is a muscle. It needs rest, it needs fuel, and it needs oxygen. So let's put it all together. Time management, active learning, deep understanding, and taking care of yourself, these are the pieces that come together to form a complete system for success. And this isn't just theory. This is a plan you can literally start using right now. Before we finish up, I really want you to remember this. I know exams can feel like the most important thing in the world, but that score, that one number, it doesn't define who you are. Your discipline, your effort, and your attitude, those are the things that truly matter. You don't have to study 12 hours a day. You don't need to be a genius. You just need a system. And you just need to believe in yourself enough to start small. So what's the very first step you can take the second this is over? Here it is, your first mission. It is this simple. After this, don't just scroll to another video. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Pick one, just one subject, and just start. That one small win is going to build the momentum you need. Because when it really comes down to it, this is the final, most important truth. You don't need to wait until you feel motivated. Just take one small action, and I promise you, the motivation will follow. You've got this.